Hi, this is James Morgan. My YouTube channel is Meet Morgan. In today's video, I'm going to again be discussing AMC and the reasons that I am voting no coming up on May the 4th in the shareholders meeting regarding item number 1, which is giving AMC the authorization to issue up to 500 million shares of stock. If you guys like this video, at the end of it, please hit the like button and or the subscribe button. It will really help my channel out. Hey, I am not a stockbroker by any means or a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube who builds homes, who is giving you my opinion on how I'm going to vote and what I think regarding, in this instance, AMC. All right, just real briefly, I've made quite a few videos and none of them have been about what I do for a living yet, even though I've mentioned it in my videos. What you're seeing here is what I do. I build homes for a living. I will try to soon have some videos on the home building process, how to finance a property deal, and also everything going into or everything that it takes to build a new home, and hopefully that will be of some interest to you guys, and maybe you can spend all the money you're going to get from AMC when it hopefully squeezes on some property. I did find an old interview with Adam. When I say old, Adam Aaron, the CEO of AMC. And this was just a few months ago, but it was an older interview than the last one that I think we all saw him with on Treys. And shout out to Trey again. I've said this and I'll say it again. It was a very good interview. But in that interview, I think we saw him a little bit more humble, but he's still not that humble on his appreciation for the retail stock investors. But I think also in that interview, which I'll try to touch on as I go along on all these videos, if you listen real close and if you have some history of what he has said in the past and what he's done in the past, to me it provides a roadmap of his intentions of his actions on what he's recently done and what he probably intends to do, in my opinion, if he gets the authority to have these 500 million shares of stock at his disposal or the company's disposal. If you go back and look at a video that he did, I believe it was on March I think it was March the 5th or 6th. And in that video, it was with CNBC. I think it will provide a roadmap of his intentions on, at least it does for me, on what Adam will more than likely do with the available shares that he has authority over if there is a yes vote and he gets that authority for the company after May the 4th. And in that interview, he was asked, what he thought of. I'm paraphrasing here, but he was asked what he thought of everything that's happened with the Reddit crowd and GameStop, and how his stock has gone up more because not of really fundamentals, but because of all the stuff that has happened. He said at this time he really can't opine on that. He didn't give a shout out to the retail stock investors, but he did say that he was happy that so many people loved AMC and was wanting to save the movies and all that. And I know, maybe he really thinks that, and maybe he's just trying to save a little face. Hopefully he's just trying to save a little face, because he's got to understand that his company was saved, and the reason the stock shot up, it was totally it wasn't on the fundamentals of the company. Another thing that happened in that interview is he said, strange thing, again I'm paraphrasing here, him and his company actually raised all the money that they've raised, at $2.2 billion, that has basically got them, or will get them through here and through the summer here, before the so-called Reddit rally, or the retail stock investors is what he was alluding to, I think. And so technically, maybe it's true in the fact that when I look back, the company he spent about 300 million shares in this last year trying to save the company from going bankrupt, or just infusing some capital so they could pay their bills. Because of the pandemic, which of course wasn't his fault, he had a lot of bills. But before that, and he was the CEO, he set the company up to where they were or he had run the company and it had gotten into some dire straits as far as finances. 2019 was not a great year for them, at least as far as the stock and as far as their debt. And it was accumulating, and even before the pandemic actually officially occurred in March, the outlook for them was they were going to have to raise quite a bit of money, or in about 6 months they were looking at probably having to file bankruptcy. So, and the stock was not that great in 2019 either, unless the retail stock investor would have got involved, and all this would have happened where about the shorting and stuff, that his company would be, probably he would have already filed bankruptcy, because he couldn't. There was no way he could have stayed off the hedge funds and the shorting that was happening. Around November, December, that's when the Reddit, GameStop and the Reddit stuff, it started slowly taking fruition to where it started making a difference, at least from what I saw on the stock and on the volume. Now, him, the CEO, I think he should have been aware of that. And I'll get to where he really should have been aware of here in a few minutes. And from December to January, that's when they raised probably about $1 billion of that $2.2 billion that he was discussing. And of that, the majority of what he raised during that small time period was done in a 2-day period. And if I get the days, 1 day off or whatever, the gist of this was it was 2 days and 1 day before the stock shot up to like, I think $17, $19. But during that time, the reason the stock was doing well, it had about doubled, or doing well, it had about doubled from in the 2s to, in the mid to high 4s during that couple of months there. And that was because of what was going on with GameStop, with some of the other stocks that were shorted, and with the retail investor, especially the GameStop people, realizing what was occurring and then buying up the shares. And so, I'm not saying I would have done any better or had any more knowledge, but I'm not a CEO of a big company that's a public company. I do believe he did know what was going on, and he should have known what was going on, but I don't know he knew to the extent. And for good or bad, maybe it was just bad luck, he pulled the trigger 1 day and 2 days too soon. Now, some people say because he pulled that trigger, that's why the stock shot up. The stock was going to start going up no matter what. I don't think he had an understanding, or he was just, I don't know what the reason was, or if it was just, bad timing, but he bought the majority of that, the majority of the stock that he sold in that small time frame, that couple of months, that raised almost $1 billion for his company, a day and 2 days before it shot up where he could have had, if he just sold it that next day, it would have been about $700 billion instead of, I think, around $350 billion. And I could be off a little bit, so don't hold me on that. And then also, if it had been 2 days later, it would have been about $102 billion, give or take. Now, maybe I digress a little bit on getting on Adam on that, but I wanted to get that out because I'm gonna go further with that in future videos. But my main point was, in this interview, he alluded to, because of his great tutelage and the company's great tutelage, they had raised, and he didn't want to hear much about Reddit or the Wall Street Bets crowd or the retail investors. This was about, what is that, 6 weeks ago or so, but still this gives you insight to his mind and his mindset and the way he thinks about business and thinks about, I think the retail investor. So he took the first opportunity, so as soon as that stock went up from 2 to make his play. Now, that's just, that's like, I don't want to, Monday morning quarterback. He was in dire straits for a while, and so he had to do what he felt he had to do. But again, getting into those dire straits, COVID helped a lot. But COVID helped to accentuate what he had already put the company in, or what the company was already in that he hadn't gotten him out of. And also a lot of it was, I think, it was just a changing of times. I think movies were, I think the COVID actually has helped the movie industry, or at least the theater industry, to resurge, because now we've all been so tired of watching streaming. We're talking about going back to the movies, and then of course AMC's been in the media quite a bit lately. He has a different mindset than I think the retail stock investor. And I'm not saying it's good or bad, I'm just saying it's different. And so I don't believe he's aligned up with, what we are wanting. And that's why I think that to give the company the ability to have those shares is just, man, to me, it's ludicrous at this time. Not right now. Everything's timing, and timing-wise, this is not the right time. The stock's doing much better than it ever would if it hadn't been for the retail stock investor and all this shorting going on. And AMC is setting in a much better place, the future and their forecast is much better than it was before the pandemic started. And that is because of the people that are holding the stock right now. And why take that out of our hands? I've said that before, but I'll say it again. I'll probably preach it on all the videos. Now, I'm not saying that the stock is doomed or the squeeze is doomed if the yes vote passes, or if the item number 1 passes, then they have that authority. But I think it will really diminish the chances. Stock might still do okay and move forward, but I just think and anything's possible in life, but in my opinion, it will really hurt the chances of a squeeze or a big bump. All right, I'll try to get more into backing up some of the stuff I said, or maybe explain more of it. Or if you don't, hey, I got some comments on the last video, which I usually don't give many comments. I don't even know if anyone's watching, but I appreciate that. And some of them majority of them were good. Some were, I don't think bad, just a little, critical, which that's at least are comments. So keep them coming. Anything you guys say that you think I can do better, or you want more understanding, or at least how I'm thinking, because I don't have to tell you guys how things are. You usually can tell me. Please provide it. Hopefully this provides some knowledge or just a different take on the matter, and a little bit of entertainment. Also, I will show you guys around, I guess the channel. I'm going to go ahead and do all my real estate on the channel as well, which will be a lot different than my AMC videos. At least I understand, I know real estate. So, come along for that. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. And hit the like button, subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one, which I hope is tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.